let me get my freaking... Where the dick are my headphones?
Alright, let's do this thing, huh?
Welcome back to another episode of Exit Stage Left. I am your co-host, Jordan Fry, here with my other co-host, Jacob Brown.
Yeah, baby.
Oh, man.
Let's get into it. Tell them what we're doing today, Jord.
We watched Texas Chainsaw on Netflix. So you don't have to.
2022.
Yeah.
Texas Chainsaw is back.
It's back, baby, and it's more
Not
Texas
better than ever.
Yeah.
No, I didn't really know what to expect going into it. I didn't have very many expectations, I don't think.
I think maybe we had this conversation privately, but I thought that it was... I didn't think that they were actually making another one because we had just gotten one in 2017 or whatever with Leatherface. Mm-hmm. And I was like, there's no way they're just rolling this property back out again. And sure enough, they did.
Yeah, well, it's a whole different story. I mean, I think they're technically calling it a sequel, but it's kind of its own thing, I feel like. I mean, it's a whole different storyline. It just, it's like they just threw Leatherface in the mix,
Yeah. So why don't you start by telling us what the plot is? Give us a little synopsis.
Right. So we're back in Texas.
Yes.
Obviously.
Yes.
In what's the town called?
Did they say it was like somewhere outside of Austin?
Yeah, somewhere outside of Austin. So
wood something.
Yeah. Oh well, not important. So these are. The plot is around a group of friends and people, colleagues, friends, and a pair of sisters who are some hippies from Austin, They're all about the environment. They're all about being nice, I guess, to other people, which is not a theme that's usually occurring in these movies. So, they're driving their Tesla to this town.
How much do you think they got paid for that? Side note.
Well, the thing is, they took the Tesla emblem off of the front, so I don't know if it was really advertising.
Oh, you're right. They definitely did.
There wasn't a T. So, but I think it was to show that these people are driving a gas-free car to show that they're Austin people.
Yeah.
And they're also chefs. So it's two people who are a guy and a girl who are chefs, and they want to open a restaurant and some shops in this small town in Austin, or south of Austin. And they just so happen to choose the rundown town that Leatherface and his family live in. But it's, the family is gone. It's just the mom and Leatherface. That's all that's left, apparently.
Yeah, and that's kind of how the movie starts.
Yeah.
Do you think that that they had a good plan? Do you think that going to this town, whether Leatherface is there or not...
This is the shittiest town I've ever seen. It is so run down, so old, and in the middle of nowhere. And also probably crawling with racists and disease.
We'll get to that, but yeah.
So, no. I don't think anyone would go out of their way to go to this town, no matter how good any restaurant or store is that they open, first of all.
I was like, how the fuck do you even start a town?
Yeah.
like where are you getting these people from?
They just bust out a whole bunch of people to invest in their new town.
I thought that
where do these
weird.
people come from? Yeah.
Where are they getting this money from? I mean, none of this matters. But
no.
It was where are they getting this money from? Do people actually agreed to this? It was a little bit of a weird setup. But I mean,
yeah.
I think it was effective in getting them where they needed to go, to an interesting setting.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, they had to come up with a new unique way to get a bunch of people in the middle of this town so that they can, be chased around by Leatherface. So I didn't think it was distracting in terms of how weird it was. I would believe it, but it was a little bit unusual, I'll say.
Yeah. What did you think overall? What were your impressions?
Overall, I thought it was a pretty entertaining movie. It was an hour and a half, so it didn't go on longer than it needed to. There were a couple good scares, some good kills, and a couple twists, a couple things you didn't see coming. So
Okay.
I'm not going to say it was my favorite Texas Chainsaw movie, obviously, but I think as far as the remakes go, this was a better one.
Okay.
Because I wasn't really a fan of the last remake, I don't think.
I didn't even see Leatherface. Or are you talking about the 2013 one?
I don't know. There's so many. I kind of liked the one with Alexandra Daddario.
Okay,
and
yeah.
Whatever. There's like a rapper in it. Who is that?
Trey Songz.
Oh yeah, Trey Songz.
I was about to hit that. Jason Derulo.
Close. Yeah, that one was all right.
They're adjacent to each other.
Yeah.
Trey Songz is Jason Derulo adjacent.
Adjacent, Jason.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What
about you? What did you think?
Dude, I thought this movie was a pile of shit.
Oh man.
It was weird because like when the movie started, because you had texted me like, oh, like I think that this is good, like that you were like enjoying it, and I would say maybe for like the first 10 minutes I was kind of like, this could be interesting, and like we'll get to it, but I think there are some interesting things in the script. It's just bad. Like, I think it's just bad. Like, I think that this movie, and I've been thinking about this a lot. I think that there are certain tropes that if things happen in a horror movie, like that happened in this one, it is a bad horror movie. Like, I think that, like, linearly, if you go back and look at other bad horror movies, we'll get to it. But I just thought, like, it was interesting that they were in the town and it was a ghost town. Like once they, well, I guess we'll start with like the gas station. Like I thought it was kind of cool how they get to the gas station and see all the memorabilia of the event from whatever it was, 74, 73.
Yeah, the original massacre.
And like, I mean, that's been a pretty popular way to reboot things recently. I mean, it copied a lot from Halloween and like Terminator and like other films like that go like, well, we're just gonna scrub all the bad movies from continuity and we'll just start fresh. And I didn't mind that. I just think that like if you're gonna do that, your film might get judged harder because you're not playing by the rule. Like you already are like cherry picking what you want, so it's like, how do you fuck it up? But I thought it was interesting, like when they're at the gas station and they have all the, like the paraphernalia and like IP Texas Chainsaw stuff that like we would want. I was like, oh, this is pretty cool, like interesting. And then I kind of was like on board because I was like, you know what, like look, I'm willing to throw this premise out if they get to this ghost town and it's like them just getting chased through like stuff like houses and car shops and all this shit like through this ghost town like by Leatherface. I was like, you know what, if the kills and the killing and all that are good, I will forgive some of this terrible setup. And I felt that I was not rewarded.
No. I think there were some cheap shots, but I thought there were a couple all right kills. Like the first one I thought was interesting, which was, so Leatherface and his mom are living in this old abandoned orphanage. The mom gets evicted and taken by the police, and she's like having a stroke or a heart attack or something.
They like
Leatherface.
Yeah, like the two of the characters, I can't remember any of their names. Two of the characters went to go to the house to evict them because they thought they had the deed. And
they thought it was their property.
Yeah, and so she has some sort of medical episode, and I guess they don't have any medics out there. They have police, but no medics. And like they're just busing her somewhere. I don't know where. Probably
taking her to a hospital, I guess. And
probably to a town that isn't a ghost town. Maybe say like Austin.
And Leatherface gets in the car with her, along with a random ass girl who comes with these people who doesn't know them or have any connection. That part was stupid. I was like, why the fuck would you go with them, first of all? So they go. The mom dies. Long story short, the mom dies, and Leatherface freaks the fuck out. And the first kill of the movie is with one of the policemen who are in the back of the car with them. He snaps the guy's hand in half and then stabs him with his own arm bone in the throat.
Yeah.
I thought that was kind of a good kill. Like, getting killed by your own bone.
By your own hand.
Yeah, he was hoisted by his own petard. So, I thought that one was all right. But then, they just take the cheap way out and the other guy accidentally gets shot. And then the girl gets killed or whatever, but...
I was watching that and thinking, like, this could be way more of a tense scene. Like, it's the classic, I'm knocked unconscious in a van. I mean, like Scream 2. Like, when you're knocked unconscious in a van and the killer's out there and you don't know where he is, and it's like, do you play dead or do you get out of there? And, like, it was really creepy to see Leatherface come back to the van and just, like, that sheriff was so... I mean, I want to say so stupid, but he was so injured. Like,
yeah, Leatherface fucked that guy up
with his mom's oxygen tank, just repeated blows to the face. I was like, Jesus.
But I think that girl could have survived if she had just sat there and not moved, like, for a little longer. Like, if she could have, like, she gave it literally 2 minutes and then she was trying to make a run for it. Like, obviously he's still around. Just play dead and wait for him to leave. But instead she had to try to make a move and got killed. So I didn't really feel bad about that.
Yeah, no, I didn't really feel bad about any of these deaths.
I liked when, like, around that area, so he cuts off his mom's face, which was kind of fucking creepy. But I kind of liked that one shot where he holds up the face to the sun, and that's kind of like his reincarnation. Like, he holds up the face, puts it on his own. I felt like that was kind of a symbolic moment.
I will say this. I did really like a lot of the cinematography.
Yeah.
I thought it was shot really well. I
agree.
Probably the biggest problem with this is just script.
Yeah.
Because I don't...
Yeah, I agree.
I don't know if it's... I think it's direction and just script. Because I don't even know if it's an editing issue at that point.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it was... There was nothing really special about this film, but I thought it was entertaining enough just watching people get killed by Leatherface. I mean, it was just, kind of like an old-fashioned, these people are in a situation and he's running around with the chainsaw. Yeah. Look at my notes here.
What did you think of the fact that it was his mom's face that he wore instead of a victim's face?
Yeah, that's weird. And seems kind of, I mean, it's different for sure. Mm-hmm. I'm not sure why he did that or if there's any thought into it. Like, I don't know if he just likes wearing faces, if he doesn't care whose face it is, or if he did it because, like, he really loved his mom and wanted to wear her face. I don't know.
Yeah, but see, like, then I thought it was weird that he just left her out there. Like, I thought it would have been much more interesting if he brings her back to the orphanage and, like, somebody stumbles back into the orphanage later, like, exactly what happens, and finds that she doesn't have a face or whatever. Like, he's starting his face collection again.
Yeah. Well, he did set her up, in the cornfield, kind of as like a statue without the face, and then that girl, Sally, the old lady, finds her. Oh, man, Sally. So, yeah.
Sally's so dirty in this film.
Yeah.
We'll get to
it. We'll definitely get to that one, yeah. So
I just thought it was weird that he left his mom out there when
I agree.
The only reason to leave his mom out there is for a character down the line to then run into his mom. Which was, like, I thought was a genuinely creepy shot of his mom.
It was,
no face. But I don't know. So then he like makes his way back to this town. Also, there's no backup. There's like 2 cops. I should say that. There's 2 cops that are trying
both
to
dead.
Handle this situation, and they're both dead. And there's like no backup for God even knows how far. But so I guess he goes back to the the town, Leatherface, and then like the older sister and the chef are getting harassed by that one country dude who's like, "You murdered that woman. Like, you don't show me the deed, and I'll take your keys. I'll beat the shit out of you."
Yeah, what a dick move to take car keys that are not his.
Yeah, it's like, bro, it's also not even just those two. It's like the 30 other people that came here. Like,
Yeah.
don't be a dick, man. Like, and also like like a couple of scenes before that, they're going through the orphanage or whatever, and the chef who's black tries to take down I'm sorry, I wish I could remember character names, but he tries to take down the Confederate flag that's up there. He can't do it. So the conservative mechanic like is able to go up there and get it down for some reason, like he's their muse. And fucking he like just slaps the Confederate flag into the black guy's chest, like, fuck you, dude. And
he's like, here's your flag.
Yeah. I was like, is this like a pro like Robert E. Lee like statue type of movie? Like, what is this?
Yeah, I mean, in a town like that, you gotta expect it, I guess.
It was just like it was weird. Like, it wouldn't have been weird if I think his death later on wasn't so heroic.
Yeah,
like they kind of made him out to be a good guy in the end.
Yeah, no, I mean, he definitely starts out kind of as a dick, but I mean, I think he sees, or you see his character, like, he's just kind of a normal guy. Probably just doesn't like weird tourists messing around in his town, but
yeah.
So these two people go back into the orphanage to look for the deed, for the property deed, and they stumble upon Leatherface, or rather, he stumbles upon them.
Mm-hmm.
Freaking,
which I thought sorry, I'm bowling over you, but I thought that was really interesting. Like, when they're in the house looking for the keys, like they are literally trapped in this ghost town, and it just gave the film this whole sense of like just for a moment, but just like you're in a strange town where you don't know anybody, and you have nothing, and you can't get out of there. Like, that's just an inherently suspenseful and creepy atmosphere to have. But this movie only nails it for 30 seconds.
Yeah,
sorry, I'll let you get back.
I liked the house concept. I mean, that whole set thing. And the thing is, the guy and the girl, they're separated in different sections of the house. So Leatherface finds the guy and just fucking axes him right in the face.
Right in the face.
Or maybe it was a cleaver to the face. Slices open his damn jaw, I guess.
Yes.
I definitely thought he was dead too. And then it turns out that he's still alive for a little bit until he dies.
He's not the only person whom I thought was dead in the film, and then turned out he wasn't dead. But...
Yeah. Yeah. So he, comes out. He escapes the house only to die on the sidewalk. Meanwhile, the girl is upstairs hiding, first in the closet, then under the bed. And that's when that guy, the Confederate guy, comes back and makes his heroic appearance, tries to fight off Leatherface. And his death, I thought, was pretty brutal. He got, like a hammer to the face or something.
Yeah. Oh,
or his head got smashed.
That was so brutal. He got like an old timey like tomahawk, but like it got blown up into a hammer, and he just got that like fucking to the head 10 times.
Yeah, I was getting flashbacks of Midsummer when that guy's head gets smashed. I was like, Jesus, this guy's head is really getting caved in right now. And the whole while the girl's watching it from under the bed.
Yeah. He went so fucking Gallagher on that guy's head.
Yeah. So she gets the keys back.
I thought that bit was a little bit confusing because they kept going to the house and then leaving the house, and it was like starting to all blend together a little bit. I wish that there had been some more breakage, or they had gone to a different building, or just something to kind of break it up, because it felt a little samey after a while.
Yeah, it was. It was really just that one house and then like the bus in the street,
Yeah.
So like they could have done better.
Like Leatherface
in the car shop.
Yeah, like Leatherface didn't even have like, for as much as I don't even really care for the 2013 version, I mean, it's kind of fun schlock. Like, I like it, but like, this movie didn't even give him Leatherface like a cellar or like any sort of setup of weapons or like any creepy room. He just kind of had a regular room, and then his mom's like, "Don't go in my room," and I thought that was gonna pay off at some point. It never does.
Yeah, that was weird. Don't go in my room.
I think they probably had to. There was probably a scene where that was gonna pay off, and then they're just like, "Yeah, we could cut it."
Yeah. So that, speaking of weapons, which brought me to this other point. So so he starts breaking in the wall in that bedroom where apparently he's stored his famous chainsaw behind fucking drywall.
Mm-hmm.
And who knows how many years that has been sitting behind a wall.
Yeah.
And magically, not only does it start right up like it's brand new, but it's also sharp as shit.
Yeah.
Even though it's been dulling and getting dusty, fucking for who knows how many years, this is like a brand new fucking chainsaw,
Yeah.
I was like, that's just not believable. Like, brand new chainsaws aren't even as sharp as this one was, He
didn't even prime it.
Yeah. Like, this dude's cutting through fucking, like, walls and floorboards and shit. I was like, dude, chainsaws are not that powerful. Especially not 30-year-old ones like that.
No. But, okay, here's another thing. I didn't believe that it was the same Leatherface. Like, continuity-wise, it didn't seem to make sense. Like, it's been about, like, 40 years since the original incident. And this guy did not look like he was at least 60. I mean, like, he'd have to be, like, at least 60 or 65, 70. And this guy did not look 75. Like, his mom is still alive. And coherent.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's why I felt like this movie is kind of its own entity. Like, it says it's a sequel, but I feel like it was just kind of its own thing, Like,
yeah, they kind of wanted to have their cake and eat it too. Like, where it felt like they were just making a franchise. Like, where we attach ourselves to the first one, but we don't follow any of the rules, and like nobody age-wise makes sense except for Sally.
Yeah,
like he looked younger than Sally.
Yeah, I mean, he looked maybe 40, right?
Yeah. Because I mean, like, literally when Sally showed up, I'm like, this could be his mom.
Yeah.
Like, she looked older than his mom, and I was like, it just didn't make sense. And I was like, if you're gonna connect to the first one, like, where are the other characters? Where's Metal Scabby Head, who's always working his scab with the wire hanger?
And Grandpa.
Grandpa. But yeah, I mean, like, if you're gonna do that, like, there were really no like significant connections that didn't seem forced. Like, I think this would have just been better served as like a reboot.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, they should have just put it as a brand new film,
Yeah,
but I don't know.
Yeah, but anyway, so he totally mashes that guy's head in, and goes outside to the bus where everybody's on the bus because it started raining. And
and the girl escapes too with the keys.
Did you? I thought it was hilarious how she's going through the mom's drawers for 10 seconds and just finds a key and knows immediately where to put the key in, and then finds the deed.
There's like so many places that key could go, and she was like, obviously it's this one. Like, wow, good guess, bitch.
That was like the fucking fourth drawer you've looked through.
Yeah.
In this massive orphanage.
Yeah. Yeah. So she gets back. They get back on the bus. So we got 30 fucking tourists on a bus, a dead body outside, and Leatherface on the loose. Yes. But they have the keys.
Yes, they got the keys back.
And they're driving away. And the stupid bus driver. Well, so here's the whole thing that they didn't really show. So the bus breaks down somehow. There's some kind of issue. I guess it was inferred that Leatherface somehow like fucked with the tires or something, but they didn't show it. You know,
was
the bus
so
just
far
breaks
away,
down.
too. Like, he was not close to that bus. He was, like, around the corner. It was a cool shot, but, like...
I thought he was going to, like, throw the chainsaw and it was going to get stuck in the tire or something. But they don't show any of it. The bus just breaks down. And the bus driver gets out and instantly dies.
Yeah.
It's, like, fucking stupid, first of all.
It was unclear that the bus had even really broken down, I felt. Like, it...
Yeah.
I was watching it, and it was like, why is this guy getting off the bus? Like, what the fuck is this guy's deal?
Yeah.
Like, are you stupid? Like, it's raining. You're in a fucking town by yourself. Like, you've already been called a cult, which I thought was fucking hilarious.
Yeah, that was good.
Like, because they are like that. They seemed like a cult.
Yeah,
it was weird.
But yeah, and like, of course, you knew something was going to happen because it's still only like halfway through the movie. But at that point, you know, you see the bus clearly driving away and Leatherface standing very far away from it.
Yeah.
So I see that and I'm thinking, like, how are they going to fuck this up? Like they have, like, how could they not just get out of town? Like, they're in the clear, but you know something's going to happen. So
I was like, the question is like, how are they going to fuck it up? And is it going to piss me off?
And it did both.
Like, I mean, inevitably they were gonna fuck it up because they had to, but it pissed me off the way they did it, and it was like, I don't know, like some of the kills just even felt repetitive. Like when the guy exits the bus, he gets his head cut off and just thrown back in, and I was like, okay, here we go. Leatherface, he's in close proximity with like 30 people, and he's got the chainsaw. And they did the dumb PC bit where the Asian guy said, "I'm gonna cancel you if you touch me." And I was like, I was rubbing me little hands together, like, here we go, like this is it. This is pure carnage, and it was dog ass. It was hot dog shit.
Yeah, I definitely have mixed emotions about the bus scene. First of all, I thought it was kind of funny when he just walked onto the bus and like 30 millennials are just staring at him, and he's just standing there with a chainsaw, and everyone, I guess, thinks it's a gag or something, and so I'm like, yeah, like this is really bad news for these people. Like everyone's locked in a bus with this guy. But then I think, I mean, can 30 people really not overpower one guy with a chainsaw? But they're all too scared. They're all running around. No one even tries to face him. They just try to run away. Like there's some magic door.
Cool trick shots.
Yeah.
He's like, watch me slide this across the ground like this.
Yeah, so he's pretty handy with
he's
that
skipping that
chainsaw.
Bitch like a stone across concrete. Like, Jesus, dude, get a second career in the circus or something. Like, you could be doing something with your life, man. I know your mom just died, but you know, hey, buddy, come on, it's okay.
Yeah, so he really unleashes freaking wrath on these people. Kills, you know, almost everyone. But some of the kills were pretty cheap. I mean,
it just felt stab, like slash. I mean, there was some like where he got like through the shoulder and just down through like almost like he's doing a like a Y incision for a autopsy. And I was like, oh, man, that's pretty cool. Do you want? And
when he picked the person up with it, I kind of liked that.
Oh yeah, that was
like
cool.
He hoisted someone up in the air by the chainsaw.
Yeah.
But other than that, he just mowed him down.
Well, I was gonna ask you, what did you think about the sex kill?
Sex kill
on the bus, where Leatherface comes up behind that dude and is like shoves the chainsaw through crotch level, and then there's just a POV cam of like a woman in a quarter going like, ah, and then like the chainsaw goes like through his dick. Through her
into her vagina,
and they're both like gyrating, like as if they're having sex.
Yeah, well, you know, we do know from the second movie that he likes to use that chainsaw as an extension of his penis.
But that, like, that's okay. Look, that's true. I think in the second one, it's way funnier and way more... Like, it's funny because it's so disturbing. Like, he's licking it and just fucking... like,
gyrating all over the place.
Gyrating himself, and he's like... But In this one, it was like he was like, no, I want to watch YouTube fuck with my chainsaw. Like, and
Yeah.
it just felt so. Dude, I was like, please, nobody walk in here right now. I was embarrassed. I was like slightly embarrassed to be watching it. I was like, dude, what if I get caught watching this? Like, fuck.
Yeah, it was definitely weird. And both of the people were just like, oh,
They were even making like this. They were even like sensually moaning. Like, I'm surprised that didn't come up as a subtitle. Like, sensual moaning underscore chainsaw.
Yeah, so that was I forgot about that one. That I did notice that. I was like, that was kind of weird, but I thought it suited him from from what I've seen from this guy previously.
But he like escalated into Leatherface so quickly. Like he
Mhm.
cut the face off, and then like he's wearing it, and then like he's back at the orphanage like earlier in the film, and he's just putting makeup on, and it's like they're trying to smash all the different versions of Leatherface together, and it was
Yeah.
just like, whoa, like let's slow down, like let's see your Leatherface, like let's not just rehash everything that we've done.
Yeah,
And-
it definitely like picked up after his mom died. And like this guy probably hasn't killed anyone in who knows how long.
yeah,
And now he has a town of fresh blood and he's just mowing them down.
yeah.
So after that point, basically everyone's dead except for the sisters. And actually everyone is dead except for the sisters.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, I want to point out another thing that kind of pissed me off about the bus thing, if you'll allow it. And
Yes, I will allow it.
Thank you. And that was his chainsaw barely makes any noise until it makes so much noise.
Mm-hmm.
And it was
I agree.
Like it just kind of, it was like a subliminal thing where it just took away from the movie, where you're not hearing just this constant rip-roaring chainsaw in the background. And then you just hear like them trying to escape through the bathroom window, and you just hear, and then like Leatherface just goes, "Gah!" Like what?
Yeah.
And I was like, bro, you can hear that over the 30-year-old active chainsaw that is in your hands right now. I don't believe you.
Yeah, like this chainsaw was like on and off idling. Like it was idling sometimes, but then sometimes it was just completely silent. And then when it was like revving, it was loud as shit. So that part was kind of stupid. It's like they picked and chose when they wanted it to idle, which is not realistic. But
yeah, and it was just like, like it's quiet. Like you can't obviously have him sneak up on anybody if it's loud as shit the whole time. And it was just like, bro, like you're just trying to make him like Leatherface something that he's not. Like this movie did not really have any like bewildering scenes. And like, I know that's unfair to compare it to the first one in that way, but I feel like that's what this franchise should be. Is it's like this horrible event that's just so bewildering. Like you're just beyond a state of like shock. Like you don't know whether to. It's like that fine line between like horror and comedy, where you're like so scared that it's a little bit funny, and it's like there was just this film totally lacked any pacing of just danger or
suspense, really.
Suspense, or just like, oh my god, like if you run into Leatherface, you're dead.
Yeah.
Like. So.
Yeah, it wasn't particularly unique or special in that way. There weren't any scenes that I saw and I was like, whoa, it was just kind of like you just watch it and roll with it.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, I really did like and appreciate the cinematography, because it felt that it looked like there was at least some good amount of time put in there, where it's like, yeah, you have the really cool shot of him like putting his mom's face up to the sun. I say cool.
I did like that scene.
And where he's walking through those whatever plants they are that look dead, and he's just walking through this sunny ass like field. I was like, that's a great shot.
His like head pops up out of the cornfield or whatever.
Yeah, I was like, all that stuff is great, but it just like they wanted to neonify it, and it was like watching a John Wick movie with like a cosplay Texas Chainsaw on the bus.
Yeah.
But anyway, so like the sisters escape and they get through the window hatch and they're running around in the rain, and then Sally shows up and Sally's like, get in! And they get in the car, and this is where
she uses them as live bait.
And this is where it really was like, you're so clearly ripping off Halloween 2018. Like, you have a character from the original who survived the events of the incident and has survived. It's 40 years later or whatever. You have them back, but honestly, if Sally was written out of this movie, there would be absolutely no change.
Yeah.
And then you have the like them locked, the sisters locked in an SUV, just like Dr. Hornhorn in Halloween 2018.
The new Sam Loomis.
I want to sniff Michael's mask. I'm the new Loomis.
Yeah.
Like, they're just locked in the car and they're like, no. And I'm like, bro, I've seen this movie. Like, come on, guys. Like, let's do something original. Like, have them team up. Like, why she got to lock them in the car?
Yeah, and that was pretty pointless. It was only for like 2 minutes, and then she gets fucking killed, and then they get out.
Well, this is, like, I didn't even really know that it was Sally at first. Like, she shows up and is on screen a little bit, and then maybe has like 2 lines, and then doesn't kind of show back up again until like the 3rd act.
Yeah, they make her out to be a very important character, but she's not in the movie very much.
No, she's so unimportant you could just remove her.
Yeah.
And the movie would just go along fine. Because she shows up to this town and is like, you have to kill him. If you don't, he'll hunt you forever.
Mm-hmm.
No, he doesn't. No, he won't.
It's like, not if I drive back to where I came from. He's not going to. How the fuck is he going to get there? He doesn't have a car.
You drove to him. Like, you went to the town. Yeah. Like, I didn't get any indication that he had been harassing you for the past 40 years. Like... Leatherface did his time. Fuck off. Leave him alone.
Yeah. Yeah, for real. Like, you went to his town, killed his mom.
Yeah.
And now you're saying that he's hunting you?
Yeah. Everybody's just like, oh my god, he's just this incarnate monster. And oh my... Like, he knows how to drywall. He put the chainsaw in the wall. Like, he clearly knows how to do shit. Like, and he was like, you know what? This life's behind me now. I'm just gonna patch this up.
He just wants to live on his own, but people keep fucking with his shit. I get him. I'm team Leatherface.
Diamond Bear paint. I'm gonna get right over this drywall right now.
Yeah. Just let him put on his makeup and play around.
But like, so Sally shows up, and this was the part where I was like, everything from the bus scene forward, I was like, I kind of can't believe what I'm watching right now.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, it's like a train wreck. Like, you can't look away. But you want to keep watching. And, like, she got a pretty gnarly death with the chainsaw where he just, like, lifts her up. Like, he stabs her. She should be dead. Like, he goes horizontal in the air. Like, just, like, showering himself in blood and guts. Yeah. And, like, just throws her in a pile of trash. And then, like, you kind of forget for a couple of minutes. And then you just hear a gunshot. And it cuts back to the pile of trash. And you just see Sally there, like, giving one final shot, and she's like, you gotta kill him or he'll hunt you forever.
Yeah, and this is what I have a huge problem with. So I'm taking notes while I'm watching this movie, and I literally wrote, how the fuck is she still alive? After that. Literally, her whole, like, inside gets totally ripped up by this chainsaw. She is hoisted in the air by a running chainsaw. Like... There is 100% no way anybody could survive that.
No way. Like
I saw that shit and I was like, there's no way she could be alive right now. You know?
Yeah, I was thinking like, well, what a waste of like a legacy character.
Mm-hmm.
And like, then I stood corrected because they wasted that legacy character just a few moments later.
Yeah, I mean, she did save the girls, I don't know, whatever kind of weird situation they were in. I think whatever gun the sister was about to shoot Leatherface with a gun and it didn't have any bullets, and then Sally shoots him, which, you know, they needed to get out of a sticky situation, but Sally would have been so dead the first time.
Yeah.
So whatever. So she dies. The sisters are going to take the car, I guess. Or maybe this is before.
They have a tussle in the water, which I thought was weird.
Well, okay, so before all that, I guess while Sally is still fighting Leatherface, they take the car, and they're about to drive away. Literally, they're in the clear. Leatherface is distracted. They have a car that works with keys. They're in it for 1 minute and fucking wreck it. And I was like, these girls have to be the stupidest people in this movie. Like, they're one way out and they fucking wreck the car instantly on purpose. Like, they run into Leatherface. I was like, just turn around and drive away.
Yeah.
Like, and they end up fucking themselves harder, you know?
Yeah. Oh, no, it was bad. I mean, like, I thought he got the car, kind of, but it was just like, just have him get to the car first so we don't have to watch another car crash or another failed escape. It was just like, just a lot of repetition in the script where it was just like, okay, like, it made it less forgettable in a way than it already was because you're just doing the same kind of setup for a scene over and over again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they go into the car shop for the final scene, the final showdown.
Yeah.
And now this one, my thought during this part is that Leatherface seems smarter in this movie than he should be because, you know, this guy is supposed to be a mentally disabled guy, you know? This guy is not a strategic thinker, you know? He's not supposed to be. Like, he's not supposed to be very smart. And he lures them into this place, this position in the car shop, I guess by leaving his chainsaw idling in a corner, and they think they're going to sneak up on him, but it's just the chainsaw, and then he attacks them from behind. And I was like, you know, that's a pretty good trap that this guy who's supposed to be mentally disabled has set, you know? So I just thought, you know, this guy seems smarter than he should be.
Yeah. I definitely buy that. I mean, we all saw him put down that Hemingway book at the beginning. He was like, excuse me, mother, I will put my book down now. He took off his little readers.
Like, this guy can't read. No fucking way this guy can read. Yeah, but yeah, and then they have their water fight, which, I don't know. What do you think about the...
We're taking a bath. Bum, 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 bum.
Yeah, and...
It was weird. I was like, how deep is that thing? It's not a well.
Yeah, there's a giant-ass hole filled with water in the back of, like, a car repair shop.
Yeah.
Or something. Yeah, that was weird.
I was like, is this also going to connect to the ring or something? Is somebody going to get a VHS by the end of this as well?
Yeah, it's a 3-in-1 horror movie. It's Halloween, The Ring, and Chainsaw.
Yeah. But
I kind of liked that he ends up getting, quote unquote, killed by his own chainsaw.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was a bit symbolic in a way. I'm not sure if any of the other movies, I can't remember, have done that, but, you know, the sister ends up getting his chainsaw and comes up and, you know, slices him in the chest and he falls into the water. I thought that was an all right way to go.
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely different. Usually, like, in these movies, they're either running from him for their lives and escaping, or Alexandra Daddario's teaming up with him.
Yeah.
Those are the two ways these movies end.
Her cousin.
Yeah.
Oh, she's so hot, though.
Dude, so hot.
I'd still smash, even if her cousin was Leatherface.
Dude. Wait, if you're Alexandra Daddario, you're smashing Leatherface?
No, I'd smash her.
Well, obviously, bro, look at that guy.
But, like, you know, but what if she's like, oh, like, yeah, like, we can do it, but just so you know, my cousin is this Leatherface massacre murderer.
Oh, so we're the same people still.
Yeah.
She's like, hey, I got the secret, chainsaw-wielding, sexy, sex-crazed cousin.
Yeah, and also he's sitting right there watching us.
Yeah, he's watching. He's stroking
he just has his chainsaw.
Yeah, just don't mind that. He's just stroking his chainsaw. He's playing it. He's got a can of WD-40. He's just like lubing up the fucking chainsaw. Yeah, dude, I would still smash. I mean, it depends if we're going to my place or her place, but yeah.
Podcast poll: would you or wouldn't you smash Alex Daddario with Leatherface as her cousin? Let us know in the comments.
I'd be interested to hear. So let's talk about the ending.
Right, so it's wrapping up, coming to an end. Leatherface is supposedly dead, and the girls are ready to go home. All of a sudden, here's their Tesla
Yeah.
that was apparently just parked there the whole time. I was like, where the fuck was this Tesla when they needed to get away a couple hours ago? It's just sitting there right in the middle of the town.
Yeah.
And they just get in like nothing happened. And,
It's shocking nobody stole it.
yeah.
Because
like,
I'd be
perfectly good Tesla.
yeah, exactly. It's a fucking nice Tesla, and I'd be like, well, probably however much I've invested in this shitty town after being here, I've seen that I'm definitely going to be capitalizing on some net losses, so I might as well just steal this fucking car while all these guys get killed. But nobody thinks to do that. It just sits there. It was in better condition than when it first came on screen.
I know. It starts right up, autopilot engaged. Yeah, and then the ending.
I hated it.
Me too.
I feel like,
but I knew it wouldn't. I knew they wouldn't get away that easily. You know, there had to be something.
And this is what I mean when I say like this followed the formula of like a bad horror movie, like a whole bunch of shit that doesn't make sense. Like the killer you think is dead at the end, he pops back up and gets another victim, and it's really not satisfying. And then bam, the movie ends. Like,
well, the killer's never dead, no matter what movie it is. You know, Chainsaw, Friday the 13th. But yeah, so he pops out of nowhere.
This felt very Nightmare on Elm Street 2011, like in terms of ending. And I guess maybe that's what I mean when I say bad horror film.
Yeah, just an unsatisfying kill, and then instantly movie's over.
And it was just like, well, then, like, my thing was like, who's the main character in this movie?
Right. I mean, it was her, I thought.
Yeah, and I also thought it was her, and then I thought it was weird that, like, I thought initially, like, she was the main character, and then it was taking a shift towards the younger sister when she's, and we didn't even talk about this, like, at all, because didn't really make a difference in the movie, but she was involved in a school shooting,
right?
Which I thought was like a really cool, interesting angle to include in a horror movie.
Mm-hmm. And she like is totally anti-gun, and she got shot or something.
Like in my opinion, I think the best scene in this movie is the conversation between that redneck hick and her in the garage shop, because it's like you see like. Pretty quickly they establish like both of these people have had like past traumas and come from totally different backgrounds, but they're able to kind of have a moment where they can bond. And I might be giving this movie way too much credit for that, but I thought that was a really good scene, and I was like, maybe it's starting to shift more towards the sister, which would be interesting, because it's like, you're right, yeah, she was like totally anti-gun and like uncomfortable with all that. And,
yeah. And I mean, that was a good backstory, because since the first scene in the movie, pretty much, she's like one of the first scenes is her in the gas station, and it's established pretty quickly that she like hates guns, but you don't know why until you hear this backstory. So yeah. I did think that was pretty interesting.
Yeah, I thought that was really good. It's just like
they didn't do enough with it, I don't think.
They just didn't do anything with it. Like I think it was just outside of the flashback and like the gun wound. I mean, if you cut those two scenes, a lot of this movie is like you could just take shit out and it doesn't really make a difference.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's like they were just trying to fill it with substance, but really they were just focusing on Leatherface killing a bunch of people.
Which is a shame, because I think that there are really good ideas in here. Like, I think that having her be a school shooting victim, like, who survived, I think is fantastic. Like, I think that's a fantastic premise and something that we don't really see a lot in movies, especially horror film. And I thought that was really interesting. They just don't do anything with it. Like having Sally as a survivor, that's really interesting, but they don't do anything with it. Like them going to this abandoned ghost town with Leatherface living in it, that's really interesting, but they don't really ever expound on it. Like, it also at one point wants to kind of have like a conversation about like freedom and heritage, and the Confederate flag gets mixed in, and it's like, this is just, there's a lot of good ideas in there about like stuff, but I don't think the stuff works for this movie. Or at least they ham-fistedly tried to put it in. Didn't work.
Yeah, I think a lot of ideas just weren't elaborated on enough. But, I mean, at least they were in there, and it wasn't just, an absence of anything, I guess. But
yeah.
So anyways, the last scene, Leatherface comes out of nowhere, still alive, grabs what's, up till now known as the main character, the older sister, out of the Tesla car window, holds her by her head, and cuts her head right off of her body with the chainsaw in a matter of 5 seconds.
It was like, bam, he smashes through the window, grabs her, the car's still rolling at 10 miles an hour. I shit you not, it was between 5 to 10 miles an hour. Like, give me control of the goddamn car, we're going home. Like, we're getting out of here. And they're just cruising like, oh man, this is so great, let's get out of here, can't wait to get back to Austin. Bam! And
bam.
And then, like, there's just a rear view mirror shot of, like, Leatherface just with this chick on her knees, and he just, like, totally goes right through her neck and just decapitates her. And it was like, whoa.
Yeah, and, the Tesla's on autopilot, so the sister's watching and screaming and crying, and then it's over.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely brutal and not satisfying.
Yeah, I don't even think, like, okay, let me ask you this. Is this a film that you think that you would ever go back and rewatch?
No, probably not.
Yeah.
I don't think I would rewatch it unless I was doing some kind of Texas Chainsaw, like, movie marathon, and I was watching, like, all of them. Yeah. Which, by the way, there is a collection on Netflix now of, like, 4 movies.
Oh, is there?
Yeah, but I think it's all the remakes. I don't know if the original one is on there. But yeah, no, I don't think I would go back and rewatch this one.
Because I think, like, for me, even like the 2013 version and some of, like, the, like, mid-2000s remakes, like the one with Jessica Biel and famous anti-vaxxer, and I don't remember who else was in the 2006 version. Arlie Emery's in both of them. The drill instructor from Full Metal Jacket, who's just a total badass.
Yeah, that one's on Netflix.
I think both of those movies, like, even though the one from 2006 is crap, I think it's more interesting than anything going on in this movie. Like, I would go back and watch those. I can't see myself going back and rewatching this. Like, there's not a scene where I'm like, that's interesting. Like, that's a better kill. That's an interesting take on Leatherface. I mean, like, yeah, I mean, like, for me, outside of the cinematography, I'm not really interested in anything else this movie has to offer.
Yeah, I'd agree. So, message to the viewers, don't go out of your way to watch this one.
Don't go out of your way. We did it for you. We took the bullet, so you don't have to.
Yeah. Speaking of movies that you shouldn't go out of your way to watch, I made the mistake the other day of watching Rob Zombie's Halloween remake.
Oh, man. We definitely need to do an episode on revisiting those.
It just, like, they just added it to Netflix. I think it was the day they added it. It popped up. It was, like, suggested, like, hey, you might want to watch this. And I was like, I really don't, but I'm going to do it anyways. And it was a mistake. I hate that movie.
I think we should definitely... I'd be interested in going... I mean, I haven't seen those movies since, like... God, probably, like, 2014.
Yeah. It is just, like... Maybe there are a couple interesting shots in there, but for the most part, it's just a shit remake. Like, there's nothing unique about it. Like, I don't know.
Yeah. No, I definitely would be interested in doing an episode on it.
Yeah, that's a whole new...
If you can stomach watching the second one.
Well, yeah, I don't even know if I've ever seen the second one, really, so...
It's like, everything that I had a problem with in the first one is in the second one, but dialed up to an 11. Like, it's even, like, if it's possible for you to believe, it's even more Rob Zombie than the first Rob Zombie Halloween.
Yeah. Well, that would be interesting. Well, you heard it here first, folks. Next episode, tune in.
Yeah. Let us know if anybody leaves a comment on this, let us know if you guys think of any movies that you would like us to review.
Right. It doesn't always have to be horror movies, although we are horror fans.
Huge horror fans.
We are We're open to anything.
Which is why I think maybe we were more sour on this movie, because it's like we're both huge Texas Chainsaw fans, and
Yeah,
you're more critical of things that you love.
that's true. Sometimes if you love something, you have to let it go.
Yeah,
And if it loves you, it'll come back to you.
And then when it comes back, you kill it and you cut its face off and you wear it.
Yeah, that's the one.
Loud and proud.
Yeah. Well, this has been another episode of Exit Stage Left.
Hell yeah.
Thanks for listening.
Definitely. Thanks for stopping by. I might
We got to find a better way to end this.
I'm already thinking like, that's bad. We'll just cut that. Oh, man.